Hello, my name is John Metcalf. Have you ever thought of waking up in the morning and not having a cup of coffee? For me, that took a long time, but I'm going to show you how I was able to beat my coffee addiction in the morning by this simple drink. It's something that's been around for a long time. You get some beautiful turmeric. It's a root that grows in the ground, great for inflammation and stuff like that. So what I'm going to be trying to demonstrate to you today is a drink that will replace your morning coffee that I've done every morning now for the past year and a half, and it's been rather successful. So in order to make this drink, first what I do is I get some turmeric and I throw it into my little blender cup. And we lost some there, that's alright. Fill about half the blender cup full of turmeric. The next thing I do is I grab some ginger. This is some Brazilian ginger. I don't like the Brazilian ginger as much. It tends to have a bit more fiber to it, but still does. If you can find some Peruvian ginger, it tends to be a little bit softer. So it blends up a little better too. So I throw my ginger in there with my turmeric. Now, in order to kind of get this blendable, what I do is I add in some apple cider vinegar, that organic Bragg's. If you can find some local apple cider vinegar, it's much better. Bragg's, I guess, has started to use Chinese apples, which tends to use pesticides on their organics. So, what I do is I fill up that container to where it says max on this, but as you can see, it's about 3/4 of the way full. There's still a few more things I like to add in there. One of those things is some cayenne pepper. That helps activate the turmeric. Also kind of balances the flavor of the ginger and turmeric. I use an insane amount. You can use a tablespoon if you feel like it, or even a teaspoon if you aren't really liking the pepperiness of it. Another thing I use is some local honey. This is Billy C's raw honey. Comes from Southwick, Mass. Delicious stuff. I put a good helping of that in there too. Helps balance the flavor, gives a little sweetness. Gonna add sound effects in there, makes it better. Alright. Now that we got our honey in there, I add a little bit of organic ground black pepper. And some Himalayan pink sea salt, so that way we have some electrolytes in there. Electrolytes are very important, especially in the morning. I put a good helping of that in there because you can't ever have too many electrolytes in the morning. Now, we're going to blend this until fine. It takes a second. It's loud. And as my kids like to say, it looks like baby diarrhea after. But it does some fine things. Now, as you can see, it's all blended up, nice and fine. Now, what I do in the morning is I like to strain it, so that way there's not as much of the organic material in there. But some people do like to have a little bit more of that fiber in there too, so don't be afraid to do that. Now, what I do is I do about 1/4 of a cup of this in the morning, right when I wake up, rather than drinking some coffee. I have an 8-ounce glass of cold water after. It gives me such a dopamine hit, as well as a sense of wellness, and kind of helps me start my day with a good amount of energy too. There's some variations to this drink that you can find online. I recommend looking up, kind of poking around. Some people like to use a little bit of vodka in the morning on your days off. I myself do not. If you find this informative and you want to learn more about some of my morning routines, make sure to follow along. Thanks!